Hey, I'm Guy.
I'm John.
It's our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Give this video a like. We appreciate it.
Podcast below in the description. Check that out as well.
And check out our friends at decked.com/ham. You need it, John, if you got a truck.
Decked.com/ham. Go check it out right now.
I think for any sport, if you were building it from scratch, you'd go, what do we need to do here? A couple of things you would do is try to build some rivalries. And these two guys having successful teams in the same division for a 10-year stretch coming up here would be really big for the NFL. So we thought, given that backdrop of the conversation earlier this week, it'd be a good time to take a look at the NFC West over-under numbers for this season. Subject to change depending on who gets who in the transfer portal.
Yeah. You know what's crazy about the Flying Coach podcast? Is the original Flying Coach was hosted by Pete Carroll.
Right.
And obviously Pete when Steve. But then this year with Kyle, Sean, and one of their guests was also Kingsbury. Like it's every single person in the NFC West has been a part of the Flying Coach.
You saying you think Shanahan's going to host it next year?
I don't even know.
Shanahan and Greg Papa?
Shanahan, Tim Ryan.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, just very, just very right in our wheelhouse.
All right, NFC West win totals.
Looking at these over-unders, I've been saying it for a while because we had done a topic, I think, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago about the odds to win the division, and it felt like Seattle was getting almost undervalued given their history, and the Niners are everyone I talk to that not in the gambling space, but that gambles is high on the Niners. Like they're a popular team to bet this year.
Yeah.
Whether it's over-unders, whether it's to win the division, whether it's Super Bowl odds, like people think they're going to be good. And the Rams and the 49ers had the same win-loss over-under. Like that's pretty nuts, Guy.
That surprised me.
And they're higher in Seattle, both of them, obviously. Like if I'm just a Seattle fan, I'd be like, if at anything, we're all three equals, right? We have less win-loss than our over-unders. What? It's one of those things that doesn't make sense to me. Now, gambling's about there's no emotion in this. They're just setting it to what they get people to bet.
And it's
right?
it's not a prediction necessarily, right?
Yeah.
It's about
they don't
trying
really
to create
care.
action. Because what did you tell? I think the Niners were minus 195 if you were going to bet the over, which again is like, oh, damn. Which means you got to bet 195 to win 100 if you were going to bet over 10 wins.
Well, I think my bookie, the Rams at 10 were like minus 150, which almost feels like I would put the Rams at 11. They upgraded at quarterback.
Season's
longer. They won that last year with a quarterback who was in shambles.
Their coach is clearly very good. There's no question about that.
If you said, John, you had to bet on... Yeah, but the players are pretty similar. One of these teams in the division to win, go 14-3. If I had to put my money, I would lean the Rams over the Niners or Seattle.
What if you had to bet the over on one of these teams? Would you choose Seattle then?
Yes, but their odds. This is the problem with the over. The odds are a little. But if in theory, if they were even, they would be the bet. That would feel Seattle 9.5 would feel like the lock of the century
to go 10.
Wait, they're not going to go 10-7.
I know.
Remember John Schneider when they went 9-7, and he's like, it felt like we won 2 games. Remember that comment?
I do.
Yeah, they went 9-7. Do you know what the Niners would do for an off year to go 9-7? That's the other thing, and we talk about it a lot because I think it deserves to be talked about. Their random years under the Yorks, but under Kyle, have not been good.
No, you're wrong. Their random years have been good.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it. Their normal years have been drafting in the lottery.
Yeah.
Right?
Wiseman.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they got Wiseman. Well, better Bosa. But let's not forget, McGlinchey was the 9th overall pick. Right? I think who drafted 9th this year was the Denver Broncos. Everyone's like, oh, Denver sucks. They drafted 9th. That was the Niners just a couple years ago. So, if the Niners do hit the over here, it's a fantastic season for Kyle, right? That means they're going 11-6. If I told you right now, they would 100%. Would Jed sign a $5 million check for 11-6?
Yeah. Would you take it right now or roll the dice? You would take it. Would people?
You would have to.
If you're a Niner fan listening or watching this, would you take 11-6 or roll the dice that you could go, whatever, 12-5 or whatever it is?
Is there any? Obviously, Arizona would take 11-6, but would all 4 of these teams take 11-6 right now. If you just said, Pete, you don't know what games you're going to win, but I'll promise you'll just be 11-6. Sign here the contract.
Yes, the team I hesitate on is the Rams.
The Cardinals would run to the paper, right?
The Cardinals would take it. They would sign extensions for Cliff and Steve Keim if you gave them 11 wins right now. My question on the Rams is, do they view this season like we just got to get to the playoffs and let whatever happens happens? I don't think so. I think they think we got to go be the ones. We got to, how many games is New England? How many games is Tampa going to win? We got to win one more.
Well, I think the 1 seeds. I'm not leery on the Niners, but I cannot just put them in the conversation till about October and we see something. To me, the 1 seed is between 3 teams. It's New England, Tampa. It's Green Bay. Now there's pretty clear Rodgers and the Rams. Aren't those the 3 best teams? And again, it's even a projection with the Rams. They have a new quarterback. If Rodgers, if everything was normal, I think we would view the 1 seed as a 2-horse race. Tampa now understands the team, the chemistry, but Green Bay is going to be really good. They were really good last year.
Yeah,
it's not like
they were better last year.
This year.
Yeah,
way better. Even though they had technically the same record, right, as they did the year before, not as Tampa. Green Bay was the 1 seed, but Tampa, part of the reason they won the wild card, lost some weird games early in the season. Tom and Bruce weren't on the same page. They're all on the same page, and they brought the whole fucking team back. Are they just the heavy favorite to be the 1 seed?
Yeah. They are the heavy favorite,
Tampa?
and they should be the heavy favorite. Why wouldn't they be?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they be?
Seattle, I would probably take the over on all 3. Seattle, Rams, 49ers.
Yeah, I
can see the Niners going 10-7.
Look, we talk about it like it's the best division for a lot of reasons, so if it's going to be that, then it's going to be that. If the Niners number was 9, the reaction would be, that's a little low, right? Just to go back to the point I made at the beginning that I shouldn't be surprised that it's 10, because if you told me the number was 9, that'd be an easy over bet, right, on the 49ers. Yeah. So, yes. Yeah, a 10, which is really, 10 is the old 9, kind of. Not really, but kind of 9.5, right?
I'd say 10's the new. Yeah, I do half.
And it'll be interesting to see this year just how we feel looking at some of these records that are 10-6 or 10-7, and
Why to me the record that's going to suck
9
is 7-10 is going to feel like the old 6-10, and that's just people get fired 6-10.
7-10 might feel like 5-12, right?
7-10 is going to be ugly. Even though it might actually be the team was pretty competitive.
I watched them win 7 games. Why does this feel weird? Well, they lost 10. They played a lot of games. Yeah. No, I think you can take the over on those three pretty reasonably, because again, on the Niners, the Seahawks is obvious, the Rams is obvious. The Niners, maybe we're overly critical of them because we talk about them all the time. But if it was 9, that would feel like value. So okay, over there. Would it shock you if Arizona won 9? 8 feels like the number for them, but
7-10.
Not everybody can win all their games. That's the other thing in the same division.
But I think it's clear that this is on paper, this is the best division in football. And best divisions in football sometimes do get 3 teams in. And they got 2 teams in last year pretty easily. And if Arizona hadn't shit the bed, they would have had 3 teams. They easily, with the Niners being a disaster last year, could have had 3 teams in. And really, they should have, right? It took a disastrous finish for the Cardinals to go 8-8, and the Bears get the spot. The NFC West was in the driver's seat, with the Niners being a dumpster fire to have 3 teams in the playoffs. And that was with weird stuff going on. So it's
meaning
now you could argue weird stuff happens in football. Guys get hurt.
Yeah, but you could argue then by that point, 3 teams from this division will make the playoffs, even if only 2 of them hit their over numbers here.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Right, even if Seattle's 9 or if the Niners are 9.
Well, I also think you look at it, you go, I think the Saints are a question mark. They're no longer a lock to make the playoffs. I think the Packers on paper are a powerhouse, but there is some simmering. Is Aaron going to be really, really weird this year? The entire time? Make it awkward? Or is he so good it won't matter? Is that your stance?
So my stance is he might be pretty weird this year, but how different will that be once they're in the environment than normal? I mean,
he was not talking like trade and stuff till really the end of the season though. Like, what if he just all season like, I don't even know what's gonna happen next week. Like he could just zero shit.
I don't see it going to that level. I think maybe if it's weird, it'll be more weird kind of behind the scenes than him saying, I don't know where I'm going to be next week. If it goes to that level, that's Antonio Brown.
Maybe not next week, but just like every week. Like, I don't know. Just keep, just doing his thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that
it would get exhausting for him.
I don't think that detracts him necessarily. I do think how many are these? Is this team just going to keep winning 13 games every year? Like that's my thing with them.
Well,
even
their
with an
division
added game.
sucks.
I know, but so Matt LaFleur just is going to be like 49-6.
Well, yeah,
over a 3-year stretch. 49-9.
If you were an NBA coach and I hand you Kevin Durant or LeBron James, you're just going to win. It doesn't mean you're going to win championships, but you're going to win games.
Yeah, but different
sport. You have Aaron
though.
Rodgers playing like he did last year. If I tell you he has a season like last year, what's their floor? 12?
Yeah.
I mean, he's just too good. He's the best player in the league if he does that.
I'm just a little iffy on them. Not them being good, but them being great.
So that's a playoff team. Tampa's a playoff team. I guess the NFC East has to get one. Like
right.
there aren't that many like the Saints, Minnesota, a lot of question marks. Bears, who knows their quarterback. Like it's kind of wide open there for 3 of these teams to be right there. And the talent on paper definitely speaks it. Same with the Cardinals. I think we just hesitate with the offense and the kind of the structure of the coaching staff.
And watching them last year kind of wear down.
But we all acknowledge their talent is, if you told me they go 3-3 in the division, it's very believable. That's where I think they were such a bizarre team, right? Because we watched them play these 3 teams and they belong.
Yeah.
Like they could. I don't think the Niners or the Rams or Seattle are locked to split. Sweep those.
Not get
those
swept.
Guys, right?
Even somebody. I mean, are they going to sweep somebody? Probably not. But if you told me they were 3-3 right now, I'd believe that.
They play everyone tight,
which means they probably would have to sweep somebody. I don't think they'll split with everyone, but they could. Yeah. What if Kyler gets better? Right, that's something we don't really account for when we talk about them for next year, but it's possible. We always go the other way with young quarterbacks. Like, what if the game adjusts to them? Well, what if they get better?
Yeah.
Let's tell the people about our friends at Decked.